Well, hello and welcome to our monthly author showcase. I am so excited to introduce you to these 13 authors today. I know you're going to learn a lot, get a lot of great ideas, maybe even pick up a few new books. My name is Dr. Angela Loria. I'm the CEO and the founder of the Author Incubator, and I'm so excited to share with you these books every month. We feature some of our authors that are getting new ebooks, print books, and audiobooks out in the world. You're going to meet 13 of our newest authors. And these authors are releasing their books today, but these books will come to change so many lives. And it's fun because on today's interview, you're going to meet 6 people with brand new books, and then 7 people whose books have been out in the world for a year and we're just launching their audiobooks now. And so you can really get a sense of what this journey is like. It's never, ever before been more clear that the world needs hope, healing, and transformation. And that is what difference makers bring to the world. We're so glad to have something to celebrate, not only these books being born in their different forms, but also being able to offer hope and healing at such challenging times. As you listen to these interviews today, what I hope you'll find are books that not only you will want to buy and download, but books you will want to share. And as I interview these authors, I want you to think of people who would be helped by their books, by their message and their books. If you think of someone, we will be sharing the links to all these books, and I would love it if you could take the time to share these links in social media or with the people who you know will be helped by these books. We may not be able to help everybody, but we can share these messages with the people in our lives we know need them most. There's another reason why you may be listening today, and that may be because you are thinking of writing a book. If you are, you're not alone. 90% of Americans want to write a book. This is according to a New York Times poll a few years back. But only 3% actually get those books done. And of the 3% that get their books done, only a fraction of those make it to having an audiobook in the marketplace. Aspiring authors will often spend years trying to get clear on how they want to reach and serve readers. But the authors you are about to meet have done it in the last few months. And they're here to show you what is possible for you too. So if you're thinking, I would love a book, I would love an audio book. If you're in that 90% of people and you're wondering what it takes, we're going to share with you a little bit about what it took for these people to get their books done. The messages here are all about really helping people's businesses, their relationships, their bodies, their lives. And that's what you're going to learn about. I'm really excited to share these books with you because I know you're going to get a lot of ideas for your own book and a lot of ideas for you and others who will be helped by these books. So the way we will do it today is we are going to kick off a series of interviews. I'm going to ask each author about their book, and then I'll also ask them to share a little bit about their experience working with the Author Incubator. That will give you a sense of what it will take to get a book done. So our first author today is the author of Ocean of Possibilities. I'm very excited to welcome this author. I remember the day we first talked about bringing this book into the world, and now it's here. Ocean of Possibilities, Maximize Natural Cancer Healing with Marine Organisms and Functional Medicine. Heather Mortensen. Heather, I'm very excited to talk to you. And hello.
Hi.
I'm so
Hi.
happy you're here. I remember the day we first talked about this book, and it has such an interesting backstory. Let's just tell people, before we tell them about the book, how you came to be almost given this mission by the universe.
Thank you. It's been a marvelous journey, an unfortunate one. My husband was diagnosed with cancer. Obviously, we were very shocked, came out of nowhere, didn't have any symptoms prior to that. And he went the traditional cancer treatment route. We didn't know of any other options at that time. And unfortunately, he died less than 1 year later, almost to the day. And I prayed to God. I said, this doesn't make sense. It was lung cancer, non-smoker. And all the doctors said it's genetic. He must have been exposed. Well, my research led me to conclude that no, it was not genetic. It was from certain prescription medicines that he had been prescribed for his arthritis. And I kept telling God and the muses, this message has to get out. Other people will probably have suffered in the same way. And I came across the field of functional medicine, which talks about treating root cause approaches to healing rather than symptom approaches, which is the traditional allopathic model. And my husband was a marine biologist. And so that's where the marine organisms come in. We were together nearly 30 years. And throughout that time, he would often say, there's so many wonderful healing options from the ocean. Why isn't anybody using them? And sure enough, on the cancer journey, I researched spirulina, for example, and it was a natural blood thinner. It had all of these superfood properties, but the oncologists would not allow us to use it because they said it would interfere with the other medications. So I started a scholarship program in his name and a nonprofit organization to make people aware of the beneficial use of marine organisms in cancer treatments and health and healing, as well as the uses of functional medicine in cancer healing. And that's where I'm at in this book. It's a blessing from God. It helped me heal, and I hope it helps other people heal.
Yeah, and I love the title, Ocean of Possibilities. Such an amazing title. What's the next step? You've got this organization. Tell me, what's your mission with this book? What's your goal?
Well, I'm actually already starting to write a children's version of this, a children's book. And in the purpose of the scholarship and the children's book is to reach and teach the younger generation to look at cancer treatments and models in a different way. There's been this consensus, I think, by a portion of the medical industry that the way to treat cancer is to burn, poison, get that out of the system from the exterior rather than from the interior to flourish the body interior, from the interior. So my goal and my project is to continue spreading the message that there are healing options out there and it does not have to be traditional methods.
Such a legacy for your husband, but really for your relationship. I know he is proud of you and proud of this work that you're carrying on in his honor. So I am excited that you got it out there. I want to talk to you about your experience with the Author Incubator. I think you and I first talked in April. It's now September. Your book is done. Print books will be in hand shortly. Tell me what it's been like to work with the Author Incubator.
Your team is amazing. Your team is like, I felt like angels lifting me up and carrying me through the whole process. Every person I met was a cheerleader, enthusiastic, very professional, and just really encouraging. I loved working with all of you, and I'm ready for the next book if you'll have me.
That's awesome. Well, we love you, Heather. We're so proud of this book. I know your husband is proud too. Ocean of Possibilities, Maximize Natural Cancer Healing with Marine Organisms and Functional Medicine. It looks beautiful. You're beautiful. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela.
Great job. Well, we have talked about natural healing of cancer, and we've got another book in that functional medicine space I'm excited to share with you by Chow Lin Moy. Chow is the author of Will I Ever Get Pregnant? The Smart Woman's Guide to Get Pregnant Naturally Over 40. Chow, such an important message that we just heard from Heather about natural ways to heal from cancer. And you've got an approach to getting pregnant, which is much different than the IVF factory farm babies that most people are used to. Let's talk about this book and your message.
The name of the book is Will I Ever Get Pregnant? And it's the Smart Woman's Guide for Getting Pregnant Naturally Over 40. And, what Heather was talking about is really, that our medical system is it's a broken and fixed model, and it doesn't have the whole health perspective, and especially in women's health. And so with fertility, so many women are told they can't get pregnant or something is wrong with them, and this is, it's very sad because for the most part, it's not really true. And they have so many other options. And yes, IVF and IUI and all of those assisted reproductive therapies are, they're a godsend, but that's not the only choice. And in fact, integrating or doing both is going to get a better outcome depending on where you are. And I think this is also has to do with our whole, medical model in general, but in particular for women. And so, so many women, when they come in to see me, they've been through, several rounds, or they've been trying for a long time. They're desperate. They don't know what to do. And really, there's an aspect too where their power of their own health and their healing has been taken away, or is been given away. I should say. And so it's really, and they'll doubt. They'll think there's something wrong with them, and it causes a lot of problems. And so really, the natural approach as a Chinese medicine practitioner, I also look at the spiritual aspect. It's the energy. It's coming into alignment and pulling all of those things together, which is what makes a difference, from what we call a natural pregnancy or a chemical pregnancy, harsh chemicals, instead to really understanding how your body works and what you can do. And really that we are these vessels. Having a child is a miracle in and of itself. And so what we're doing is creating the best environment for that to happen and for us to bring that forth.
I think it's such important work, and it seems like it's about the baby. They get the baby, but it's really, I just think pregnancy in general is so much about you becoming the next version of yourself. I think what's so interesting about your work is it's not just about the baby, it's about who you have to be that incubator.
This is true. I mean, so we are this vessel, and what's happening is there's going to be some transformation. We undergo a transformation through a pregnancy, right? So it's really about, being able to go there health-wise, but also having that mindset and the desire and all of those things that actually make a difference. It's really a matter of consciousness as well, and around our health, and recognizing that there's more. I mean, we are more than our physical body, and taking that into consideration. We want this baby is going to come through us. It also has a spirit too. So you can't ignore, there's that energy that's there. And that's, what makes the difference. And I believe, and why a lot of women they have success with me when they've tried other therapies, is that really like bringing this together, helping them to recognize that the healing they seek is within inside of them. They already have this potential, and really becoming aware that that's what is there.
I
but
love
of course,
that.
yeah.
And it's also what we can give to others, what I give to people writing books, and what you give to people making babies. We also need in our own lives. And I know part of your journey in getting this book out in the world has been working with our author mentor, Marianne Williamson. I wondered if you could share a little bit about how Marianne has influenced you or this book or your journey.
Yeah, actually, even on the call yesterday, really being clear about, the purpose of why I wrote the book, and to help as many people. If it just were to help one person, that's huge. Helping to bring a life into the world, helping change, one person can change everything. And so she has a kind of clarity and a truth where she kind of like brings you back into I would say a kind of alignment, or shock to your, like, what you think something is, to help you to see it from a different perspective, and always to a higher purpose, right? To keep that in mind, and that it's not just about this physical aspect, but what we're doing, writing the book, whose life it's going to change, and also not being attached to it. It's kind of like we birth the book, and it goes out into the world like a child, and it's gonna, it'll do its good, right? That's
Yep.
what it's about.
I was going through a hard time recently, and I was talking to Marianne, and I was like, but I help other people with this. I'm supposed to be good at this. And she said, yes, but we can't priest ourselves. And I think that's one of the things that's so powerful in the author incubator, but working with Marianne as a mentor, who obviously has such an amazing body of work that she brings to her mentorship, is like, yeah, even though I can do this for others, I also need someone to help me see my blind spots, someone to help me stay in alignment. And
Yeah.
that's really that integrative medicine for writing.
Right. It's really to reflect back. I mean, all I would say good therapists, or all people who are in the healing space, also need healing. They need to reset and to reflect back so that they can continue to grow. And we can only help our people as much as we're as deep as we're willing to go within ourselves. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Shaolin Moy, congratulations on this book. Will I Ever Get Pregnant? The Smart Woman's Guide to Get Pregnant Naturally Over 40. If you know someone who has been struggling with infertility, make sure you share this link with them. It is free, but only for a very short time. So congratulations, Shao.
Thank you.
Our next author takes us out of the medical world and into the thriving world of cannabis businesses. They are growing rapidly right now. And our next author is the author of The Successful Cannapreneur, the practical guide to thrive in the legal cannabis space. Out there ahead of the trend, J.M. Balbuena. Hello, J.M.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm feeling pretty good.
Congratulations on this book. I know you are one of the real pioneers in the legal cannabis business world. And this book, there are a lot of regulations and rules and everything seems to change. And you have been a stalwart that people have come to make sure they're doing it right and legally. Why did you write this book? Who is it for? Who's going to really benefit from this book?
Well, the reason why I wrote this book is actually there are two reasons. One is an ode to the legal cannabis that have been doing it for decades now. As you know, the California market is over 20 years old. So people have been in the trenches dealing with the legislation that's not necessarily business friendly and pushing the advocacy agenda. So I didn't take you all the way out of the medical because, there's also the message that cannabis has therapeutic benefits. So we have been pushing that agenda because there's so many anecdotal evidence and even scientific evidence that show that cannabis can potentially provide therapy for individuals. And then the other reason is to attract high quality stakeholders into the space. The cannabis industry is full of opportunities. With the book, I tried to paint that picture. So individuals that are not familiar, but let's say want to invest or want to start their own business and have no idea how because of the dynamic environment in the industry as far as business goes. And then because it's still federally illegal. However, there are legal states as well. So I try to, allude to what are the different barriers that have been removed and allow people to come into the space.
What do you think the biggest misconception people have about legal cannabis? What do you think the biggest misconception out there is?
I feel like the biggest misconception is that everybody's getting rich. It is really hard to do this thing legally in a country that where it's federally illegal. Even in California, like I said, it's an evolved market. Cannabis has been legal since 1996 for medical purposes, and most recently in 2018 it became legal for adult use, and it's still evolving and coming up, and we are still dealing with legislation that's not business friendly, but we're still doing it. So I think because I think that we need more individuals that know what they're doing in different areas like finances, accounting, because it's not just about growing, and that's another misconception. It's not about growing. This is an actual industry. And for it to have a solid foundation, we need to have individuals that are experts in their respective industries to come and support it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things for me that's been interesting. We've worked on a few books in the cannabis space, and my biggest misconception was I just thought everybody was a grower, but it's a whole economy. Like there are many products, many services. Even what you do, we should talk a little bit about like what's your area of expertise and what do you help people with?
Absolutely. So my area of expertise, my company is called Synergy, and what we are is a licensing and compliance management, licensing acquisition and compliance management company in California. We help companies get their licenses and conditional use permits with the city. So we don't touch the plant as a business, but we do support the individuals that do have the knowledge of growing. We help them grow their business, and so they can focus in growing the plant.
I love it. Well, that's awesome. If you know someone who has been thinking about moving into this space, it's definitely a growing industry, but I took your pun. But before I let you go, JM, I should ask you, what was your experience with writing this book and working with the team here at the Author Incubator?
I had such an amazing experience. You were like my best friend through video for the past few months. So
you've been hanging out a lot.
Yeah, but the thing that stuck out to me, because I have a lot going on, my business not only does the licensing, we also are a media production and distribution company for the cannabis space. So in between, there was something that you said in one of your videos that pretty much stuck to me, and it was, there are no refunds. So I was like, I have to do this. So I was like, I'm going to listen to everything that she says and just do that. And at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. And look, here we are. So super awesome. Yeah, I just literally just, my experience was just following the instructions. And I'm proud military, so I'm good at that. So I did that and it worked out. So thank you so much for everything.
Awesome. Well, it is available now. The Successful Cannapreneur, the practical guide to thrive in the legal cannabis space by J.M. Balbuena. Congratulations on getting your book done.
Thank you so much.
So good. Our next author is a two-time author, and I guess we are staying in the health and wellness space. This book is called Ultimate Fulfillment, a blueprint for finding and living your purpose. This is from a mental health practitioner, Dr. Joy Kalkui. Dr. Joy, book number 2, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Angela.
So you are in the mental health space, and really what I love about Ultimate Fulfillment, your first book was really about depression, and this kind of flips it on its head. Instead of just treating symptoms, now you're really setting up a blueprint for what's next, what's more. So how did you decide to make this transition, and why did you decide to write this book?
Yes, so thank you, Dr. Angela. As you know, I wear many hats. I'm a pastor, I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and I'm also a life coach. And my practice, private practice, is called Faith Integrated Psychiatry, which tells a story by itself. It's an integration of faith and science and everything in between. And in 2019, the author incubator helped me to publish my first book, as you mentioned, on the ultimate cure for depression, leveraging science and faith for total healing. That book has been very successful in helping anyone who is struggling with a mood condition, mood disorder, in getting a total and lasting cure or recovery. And then I realized after that book that there are literally many people out there, multitudes, if I should say, who may not be diagnosed with any clinical condition, any mood disorder, but are just not entirely fulfilled in their lives. They may not be fulfilled with their jobs or careers. Some are not fulfilled with their relationships, and a lot are not fulfilled with their health or just their life in total. And so there are many people who may be in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who are saying to themselves, I am not where I would like to be in my life. And with all that is going on in our world today, I need to find my purpose and fulfill it sooner than later. I can't put that off anymore. This is there's a group of people that I wrote the second book for. And so this second book, The Ultimate Fulfillment, a blueprint for finding and living your purpose, was written for anyone who is dealing with emotional emptiness or just non-fulfillment, to embark on their own personal fulfillment journeys, to a place where they can look back on their lives smiling with a deep sense of satisfaction. And I actually wish that I held such a book in my hand at the age of 20. Yeah.
As you were talking, it reminded me of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and how at the bottom is like food and shelter and survival and things like that. And I feel like fulfillment, which is higher up that pyramid, is something many of us have put off for later. once I get my career going, once I buy my house, once I have kids, once things calm down. And what's happened in the world the last 6 months or so for a lot of people has been a wake up of, oh, if I don't do it now, like if not now, when? I wonder if you have seen a change in your business, more people wanting to pursue fulfillment and really finding their life's purpose. Have you seen deeper conversations about these topics happening?
Yes, absolutely, Dr. Angela. I think that the pandemic and mass shootings and natural disasters, all that is going on in our world are kind of waking us up as a people, so that we can begin to pay attention to the things that we've been putting on the shelves, on the back burner. And I would like to say that our perception about fulfillment needs a second look. We need to take a second look at it, because once we pursue fulfillment, then all the other things that we have spent our lives pursuing will fall in place. In actual fact, I mean, it's like the glass jar experiment, where we put large rocks in first, and then you put pebbles in, and then you put sand and fill it with water. All that will fit in the jar. But then if you put water first, then the sand will not fit, the pebbles will not fit, and the larger rocks will not fit. So I want to just advocate for us, pursuing fulfillment first, and then all the other things, the daily bread will fall on the table once you are in your rightful place. I call it a room. Everybody has a room. And then when we are in our room, we perform best. We generate higher income than people who are just going through the motion, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's our philosophy here at the Author Incubator too. Hopefully you were in the right room with some people on your journey. Let's talk about publishing this book, working with the Author Incubator. We've been together for almost 1.5 years now. What has this journey been like for you? What's it been like to be part of the Author Incubator family?
Oh my, I think without the Author Incubator team, it would be 10 times more difficult for me to write even one book, let alone two, in a 1 year period. I think this second book took less than 90 days to do. And just that motivation, the clarity that the team offers, holding us accountable and helping us to deliver, according to deadlines, the insight in designing the book, and putting a structure to it. All that is priceless. And Dr. Angela, I just want to say thank you so much for what you have done. You have no idea how many lives you have impacted out there. And, the next generation will be grateful to you. I want to say that my editors have been phenomenal. Natasha, Marina, wow, they had so much patience, so much attention to detail, and I am very grateful to you and the entire team.
Well, I know you always get gold stars from the team. Everyone loves it when they get to work with you, Dr. Joy. So Dr. Joy Kwakui, he is the author of Ultimate Fulfillment, a blueprint for finding and living your purpose. Congratulations on your second book.
Thank you so much.
Our next author is the author of The Evolving Home, the Conscious Design Guide to Restoring Function and Comfort in the New Normal. Please welcome Katie Ramaklis. Hi, Katie. How are you?
Hi. Very good. Thank you.
Well, let's talk about The Evolving Home. It's available now as an ebook, coming out soon in print. Very excited about this book. We certainly are all moving furniture around and moving and trying to figure out the new normal. So let's talk about The Evolving Home. Such perfect timing.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, it is kind of it's a journey about exploring the ultimate change that we've all undergone in this year. And the house is the incubator for all of that to happen in. And so clients have been reaching out to me, trying to figure out, how do I fit all of these new roles and responsibilities into my container? And so what I've tried to do is to kind of flip the process inside out. And by doing that, I mean that we first start with understanding what we need on the inside. So instead of reacting to all of this change and trying to set up everything to accommodate the forced change that has been brought upon us, what I'm trying to do is basically embrace it and say, what do you want? What do you want your future to look like? How do you want to move forward? Because what happened was, pressing pause on our normal day-to-day life, the hamster wheel, created this kind of distance between what was and what is. And by doing that, there were all these kind of lurking issues that were already in existence. It's like pulling back that rock and looking at the dank, creepy crawlies under there, and realizing that, okay, I've got these issues. I'm not able to distract myself anymore with the day-to-day. So I've found that a lot of people have been dealing with a lot of things that have been there forever. And the house has just always been this kind of machine, this incubator to house all of that, whatever we're doing in our life. Whether it's just work, pick up, drop off, whatever that is, the house is just there to facilitate it. Well, now the home has become so much more, because the home is everything. And so we do need to be efficient in our tasks. And we do need to be clear on what we want. If we are working from home still, it's a matter of understanding like where the boundaries are, you know, when to hang up, when to tune out, when to turn off, versus, you know, shushing the kids all the time. And,
one of our authors said to me at the beginning of the pandemic, one of the things that people are talking about is social distancing. But I think now that we're all working from home, we need to think about ways to build in work distancing. How do you leave the office now that you're working at home, your kids are working at home? Because it really changes the dynamic. If your house used to be the place you went after work to relax, and now it's the place you work, it completely changes, I think, the energy even in the air around.
And it still needs to be that place where you can shut the door and tune out the chaos of the world. So being able to organize it in such a way where you understand the tasks. And obviously we don't, you know, depending on where you live, we've just invited a whole new slew of things into our world. So how do you organize that in such a way to where you walk into the house and it doesn't feel like chaos? And it does feel like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing it. I know when I'm doing it. And when I'm done with that task, it's done. So I'm not constantly clearing off the space to start a new task. And it's also, you know, finding peace from within. I mean, I'm talking about home, but home is just a reflection of the space that we carry from within. So the work really is trying to peel back those layers to understand what you really want and how to connect with that. So how to harness something like change. And I've kind of chosen space as a vehicle to kind of assimilate the two. So that mirroring of the sacred space from within, you start there and then you mirror that outward. So now I'm not only figuring out what I want, which is, it's not an easy thing to do, but I'm figuring out what I want. And then I'm figuring out how to set up my environment to support that, so that I have those cues and reminders, so that when I am in that space, I am inspired and I am balanced, whatever it is that, you know, each person wants.
I love it. It couldn't be a more important book right now. I think we can't minimize at all the importance of space. And now that we're spending so much more time at home, it's even more important. The results you get will be a reflection of your space. So anyway, very excited about this. Just want to take 1 minute to ask your experience with the Author Incubator. We've been together for 5 or 6 months now and got your book out there. Tell me what it has been like working with the Author Incubator.
Well, I have to say I'm obviously a creative, and I have my own process of doing things, and it's very sacred to myself. And so joining a group for something like this, there were a little bit of trepidation if it wasn't for listening to your videos up front. I mean, the timing was incredible. I was literally starting to write the book, and I was listening to some frequency music on YouTube, and then you came in. And it was like, it's time to write your book. So it was, I mean, there's obviously that was meant to be, but honestly, the process itself was so respectful of the creative process, understanding that yes, it is a creative process, and each and every person has their own process. And so you kind of created guidance to allow that to evolve in and of itself, and left enough space for me to have my own guidance too. So it's not a cookie cutter one size fits all program, right? But and I'm the testament to that. But I was still able, and I felt very guided, and the team that I had, my editor especially, was such an integral part to all of this. And I'm so grateful for you and the program. And yeah, so I would definitely recommend this for people who are even on the fence.
It doesn't get brought up a lot, but it is, for me, I call it Focus Your Author Mojo. And everyone has a different way of working. And one of the things that's really important to me is writing a book is hard enough. Let's not develop a new way of working. Yes. Let's figure out how you can get it done that works for you and still have the structure. And there's a balance. But I'm glad you noticed that and got to really experience that. This book is going to make a huge impact. This is just the beginning. The Evolving Home, the Conscious Design Guide to Restoring Function and Comfort in the New Normal by Katie Ramaklis. Congratulations on getting it out there.
Thank you.
So excited. Well, all right. Well, those were a few of our new first-time authors. You also met a two-time author, and now I'm going to introduce you to authors who have been with us for about a year, and they have just today released their audiobooks. So I'm so excited to introduce you to these authors so we can learn a little bit about what this year has been like for them, and to learn more about these audiobooks that are available. So my first author today is best-selling author Nina Sossamon-Pogue. Nina's book is This Is Not the End: Strategies to Get You Through the Worst Chapters of Your Life. Hello and welcome back, Nina.
Hello, so nice to see you.
This book has had quite a life over this last year. So I want to start with just like a little about the book, how it came to be, and then share with us the story of what's happened over the last year.
Yeah, thank you. And it's so fun to see you. The book has been amazing timing. To think that I wrote a book, I say we because your team was such an integral part, but we put this book out into the world and it's called This Is Not the End. And we put it out there at a time when the pandemic started and so many people were losing their jobs and so many people were losing loved ones. And the book is about going through the worst possible scenarios in life and living through them and getting stronger on the other side. It's going through a job loss or a trauma or a horrible diagnosis, and how do you put that in your head and how do you get past it? It's practical steps to help you cope and get stronger, become more resilient through a traumatic experience that you think could end your life or could define you for the rest of your life. So the book has been out. We actually put it out into the world a little early because we felt it was needed. And then we put it for 99 cents online on the ebook and lots of downloads and really great response from the community. And I've done a bunch of podcasts and things, just talking with folks about what it means to be resilient and why this is not the end, even though so many people feel like it is in this current situation.
Yeah, I know in California, as we're talking, Northern California, Washington, Oregon, they're waking up, looking outside with all the fires and saying, oh, is this the end? Like, And it feels like we've had everything: floods, famines, pestilence, war.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a perfect time for this message. How are you an audiophile? Do you like to listen to audiobooks?
I like paper. I'm really old school. I like books and I like paper. I like to feel the pages. I like to spin the corners and write things in the margins. That's me. My husband's a big audiobook guy. So we went back and forth with this one. I really wanted to voice it myself, but the more even because I used to be in television, so I did television for 20 years. I could voice a book, but just like writing a book, the longest thing I'd ever written was a 5-part series. I could have never written this book without you. The audiobook, same thing. Handed it over to you and the professionals, and they did a fantastic job. And there's a certain cadence and all to it. And I'm so pleased with how it turned out. Doesn't sound like it does in my head when I read it, but it sounds fantastic. Yeah.
So who do you think would benefit from having this on audiobook? Because we do get a slightly different audience with our audiobook. So who do you recommend this for?
Anyone who's going through a really difficult time right now, anyone who's waking up feeling like I can't handle this, why bother going on? Anyone who's going through a traumatic injury, or if they've lost someone, or if they've lost their job, or if they're going through a divorce, or all of those things where you just feel like it's a moment.
When you're in that space, reading for a lot of people can be hard. It can be hard to focus on the page while your brain is
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine people who are going through a hard time listening to this and just being, comforted by the fact that there's something in their ear. I think there's something so intimate about audiobooks.
There really is. And this one is written like you're sitting on the end of my dock chatting with me too. It's very informally written. I don't talk about stoicism or cognitive behavioral therapy or any of the things that in the back of my head I know I'm trying to share. It really is just, you're going through a tough thing. Let me get you through it. Have you thought about this? Here's a story that I would tell you if I was sitting with you. It's really conversational. So I think that is very helpful for folks who are, and I even say, if you're really struggling and you're thinking suicidal thoughts, please just jump to chapter 8 and just consume that real quick. I mean, I hope that people who are listening to it get that from it. It's a very short book. It's thin, it's not thick, and the read time's only about an hour and a half. So it really can help in a really quick and efficient way.
I love that. So powerful. Let's just share a little bit. What has working with the Author Incubator been like for you?
It was really super. I love the team.
Wait, why did you say was?
Well, is this book. This is just book 1. Okay. I'm talking about book 1. So this is a was. I'm actually right now in the middle of
book 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I just turned in my manuscript for book 2. So I love working with you. But I say was because this one feels like it's kind of in the rearview mirror a little bit for me.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic. As I said, I've been a writer and I've been a journalist for a lot of years, but I never would have known how to organize my thoughts to do a book. I had a lot of great ideas, and for years I thought wanted to put something out into the world to share my experiences, but I just didn't know how to organize my thoughts or how to make them make sense or how to write them where anybody would care and pick it up. And working with your team, I figured out the organizational piece of it, but also I feel like I didn't write a book that's just going to sit on a shelf that no one's going to pick up. I feel like I've put the right things out there in the right way and learned how to market it correctly so people will find it and actually get the help, because that's really key. I just want to help. Yeah.
I love that. Well, you have
fantastic.
A powerful message. I'm excited to keep working with you. The audiobook is out now for This Is Not the End: Strategies to Get You Through the Worst Chapters of Your Life by Nina Sosman-Pogue. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. I love you guys.
Well, we love you. Our next author just finished her second book, but we're talking today about her flagship book, Make Your Own Money: Shine Your Light with Purpose and Balance. Charlotte Freiberg. I just Freiberged you. You're a Freiberg. Hello.
Hi, Dr. Angela.
How are you?
I'm very well. Excited to be here again.
Your kind of market for Make Your Own Money has changed so dramatically between when you wrote your book and now the audiobook is coming out. Make Your Own Money, I remember when we wrote it, felt so fun and light, like extra pocket change for the family. And now it's like becoming more and more important for a lot of women to contribute to the household economy in ways they haven't had to before. So I feel like this is also such great timing to get this book out in audiobook.
I totally agree with you on that, Angela. And I'm actually very, very excited that it's now available as an audiobook, because I wrote this book for moms that you are a mom, I'm a mom. We're always busy. There's always something to do. And I cannot count how many times I have been talking to moms where I say, I don't have time to sit down and read. And I used to be like that, or be in that place when I was busy, when my kids were smaller, until I kind of integrated some better time management that I'm also sharing in the book. But now they can just download this book, put their headsets in while they fold the laundry, walk the kids, go on a playground, or use the vacuum cleaner. That's actually how I met you. I was listening to something when I was introduced to you. So I think it's very timely. And what you pointed out was that it's right. When we agreed what I should write about in this book, it was a different time. I do, however, know that the steps, the principles, the information that's in the book is still very applicable and up in time, if not at that time, more now, because it will help, I want to say, to shortcut sometimes when we get either that idea if we want, like in this case here, want to start a career or find a new job or another job. How do we navigate that? And there are some principles that we did not learn in school. And I know that makes a whole difference when we start to apply them. That's part of what I'm sharing in the book.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I think there's a self-worth piece to earning your own money. And there's like even more than the money, something that comes with having your own thing. It's not just the kids, it's not just the house, it's not just the husband, but something where you're really contributing.
No, I mean, what I really want to come through within this book is to not just have a job or to not just like make money somewhere, but really find a way where we in our core feel that it's fulfilling, it gives meaning, it has a purpose. It's like, I mean, we have talked about today in some of the previous interviews, if those who are listening to this part here heard that, how we become, with everything that's going on in the world, we become so much more aware about how short life can be, how sudden things can change, and how precious it is to live more in the moment, do the things that is important to us now instead of wait, because we never know when things change again. And I think that's very important. And that's what I'm helping with. Really find out what, I know there are a lot of moms who've been home and have lost self-confidence. Can I get a job that's fulfilling? Am I worthy? How will other people look at me? And how am I going to manage everything? And it's a transformation. It's a process. It's possible, and with the right tools and guidance, for sure, I believe it helps.
Yes. So this book is really a companion with your second book, Fulfilled Working Mom. In the last year and a half or so that we've been working together, you got 2 books out there. You've been a part of my mastermind group. You've worked with Marianne in her mentorship group. I know we're working together through December and spending a lot of time together with Marianne Williamson. I wondered if you can share what are some of the best things about being a part of the Author Incubator and the whole orbit of incubation here.
Well, first of all, I want to say that I would not have 2 books out without the structure, the love, the care, the guidance that I have received through Author Incubator, for sure. I mean, that's what I need, and that has helped me. So that's one thing. And the next thing is that it's not just about the books, but it's really about that we each as individuals start to connect with what's important for us, be more brave, speak it, live it, do it. And I believe, and this is a conversation I've also had with Marianne Williamson, that the world would be so much more different if we all trust our inner guidance, and if we lost that connection, reconnect with it, and live a life with more fulfillment. And that can sound very like, yeah, but how am I doing that when I'm sitting here struggling, paying my bills and managing my kids? But it does require a decision, and it also requires some faith. And that's definitely something I have expanded. I feel the community that I have created here through Author Incubator with all the other authors, Marianne, you, the people that the amazing people that you attract to work for you in your business. I mean, that's what it's about. And that's what I want to say to those people who really right now feel stuck and like, maybe, but how can I get a fulfilled life? How can I get an ideal career? It starts to get to know some basic principles that I'm sharing in the book, but also connect with people who believe in you, who see your light. That's what Marianne is all about. See your light, because it's there. It is there. It's just about ourselves finding it. And sometimes we need help from a community.
I think
I would not, yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
available now on audiobook is Make Your Own Money, Shine Your Light with Purpose and Balance, Charlotte Freeborg. Congratulations, Charlotte.
Thank you so much, Dr. Angela.
Well, our next author is the author of Find Your Beloved, Creating Delicious Companionship. I just love saying that. It gives me goosebumps. Join me in welcoming Rosine Kushnick. Rosine, hello.
Hi.
So it's been a year since Find Your Beloved has been out there. The audiobook is available today. Let's talk about what is this book about, who's it for, and tell us a little about your journey over the last year.
All right. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me here. It's been a wonderful journey. The book that I wrote, which is now a year ago, is mainly for women, but it doesn't have to be only for women. And it's really about the woman who hasn't given up on the dream of having a beautiful, deep, connective relationship. And what I have found with our pandemic that we're in the middle of is that this is actually something that is a very, very basic, fundamental part of our human existence, is that we need connection, we need relationships, we need companionship, maybe more than ever. And so the book really is a journey into very, very deep places within ourselves where we literally have access to transforming our relationship dynamics so that they become uplifting, enjoyable, that they really serve the purpose of love. You know, and listening to everyone here on this launch, you know, what really strikes me is that as women, we no longer have to be in a relationship. right? Only up until maybe, I don't know, 100 years ago, 80 years ago, maybe even 50 years ago, a woman was better off married. And nowadays, that really isn't the case anymore. Like, a woman doesn't need to be married, not for status, not for money, not for really
Hunting,
anything.
to go
Huh?
scare off the tigers or hunt the boar.
Exactly. Even to have children, you don't need to be married or be within a relationship. And so what is opening up for us is to really design our relationship around and for the sole purpose of love and evolution. And that's what I'm really excited about. And the woman that I work with and that I have been able to get in touch with through the book, that's really what they are longing for in a very deep way.
What's your favorite thing that has happened since you've become a best-selling author?
Well, I get to meet women I would otherwise have never met. And that's so exciting. Like, I love meeting women. I love meeting new people. I love the idea that the fact that I can make my service, my love, my care available to people, women that, you know, I can meet someone tomorrow whom I don't know yet today because of the book. So that's what I love about it.
Well, that's so powerful. Rosine Kushnick is the author of Find Your Beloved, Creating Delicious Companionship, now on audiobook. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much for all of your support.
Oh, we're so excited for you, and look for Rosine on future author showcases. She's got a book coming out too. And I'm excited about that. So I've been hearing very good things about what you're up to over there.
Thank you. Very exciting.
Well, our next author is the author of a book that will also be read in the home, but for totally different reasons. Sequoia Stafford is the author of It's Hard: Sexual Satisfaction Secrets to Beat Erectile Dysfunction. Well, I am very excited. This book is on audiobook. I hope you got a good narrator. I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, she's amazing. Lisa York did a great job. She's similar to my timbre, and because I was getting it produced while we were on lockdown, I had so many other things going on. It was really good to have somebody else to actually read the book. And it really gave me an opportunity to go, oh, wow, my book actually really lands and makes a lot of sense when I'm hearing somebody else read it. So yeah, she's great.
I love that. Who do you want to listen to this audiobook? Who's the book for, and who do you imagine listening? Where are they? Why are they listening? What's going on in their life?
Yeah, so I really want couples to listen to this book. I want couples of any age. I think I talked about this at the launch of the paperback and ebook. Erectile dysfunction is something that's happening to men younger and younger, in their 20s even. It's an epidemic in itself. And, I think that it's coming about in this day and age right now because we've lost connection with our body, mind, and spirit. And, I'm a Tantra educator, and I've seen people come through my programs, and they're having issues with the physical body. And that's directly related to the fact that they're having issues with their own soulful connection to themselves and then also their partners. So for me, it's really, really important that couples listen to this. Women who are in partnerships and their husbands or their men are not talking to them about the issues they're having with their functionality, most men will hide this secret from their partner. They'll even take Viagra or Cialis without them knowing. I've had that happen to me, and I teach couples how to function properly sexually. So it was shocking to me when a partner of mine was taking something and didn't tell me. The reason I want couples to listen to this book is because it's really a love story. It's a love story about our own sexual reverence and freedom. And that kind of love story needs to be heard, it needs to be felt, and it needs to be expressed openly. One of the things that I found while writing this book is so many people don't talk about their intimacy. And like I gave you an example, couples don't even talk about intimacy with each other very well. And what I'm trying to do with my mission in my book is have the hard conversations, have the conversations about what intimacy is like for you, so that you can have the intimacy that you dream of. I really think that the fact that we all got here because we were a part of an intimate sexual experience, and in the book I call sex.
I guess that's true, yeah.
We're all here because of that. So why don't we talk about it? It's taboo, but it shouldn't be taboo. It should be something and this is what I say in the book, it should be something that we have reverence for. And I turned sex around in this book to call it Sacred Experiences of Ecstasy, SEX. And that's what it's about. It's not about skin bags, friction, and a climax with that kind of physical form only. It's that and the spiritual experience of looking into your lover's eyes and getting to know them at a level that is sacred and has a purpose of finding out who you are and finding out who they are. And that is why I want everybody to listen to this book. It doesn't matter if you have erectile dysfunction. It's about beating it. It's about not letting it happen to you. And if it's starting to happen to you, let's get on the other side of it and see what that lesson was all about for us to learn. And I go through my own lessons that I learned throughout my life and how I have such compassion and empathy for people going through this, because I've gone through body parts of mine that weren't working. And when a man has such an important body part that they have their identity wrapped around that is not functioning, it can be really devastating. And I bring a lot of empathy for not only the men, but also their partners.
It's such a powerful story, and we really don't talk about it enough. I love that you made the connection. That is how we all got here. So what's the best thing to have come out of writing this book and getting it out in the world?
I love one of the other authors said, this is a journey of being brave to be an author. And as I've just said, this is a hard conversation for everybody to have. The title isn't a mistake. It was hard for me to become an author of this kind of book, not because it's something embarrassing that I work on. I'm really proud of the work that I do and the difference that I make in people's lives. But it was brave for me to really say, look, this is something we all have to talk about. It's something we should all be proud of. It's something that we should, really have a reverence for ourselves. And the best thing that came out of it for me is that I had the brave, I call it courageous vulnerability. And, as someone who grew up dyslexic with quote unquote, I was labeled learning disabled, it was a hero's journey for me to write a book. And now I have my second one. And now I'm realizing that all of my work is all tied up together. My next one is all about jealousy and open relationships. And I realized that jealousy, envy is at the heart of the first book also, because men who are dealing with this, they're looking at other men who can have sex normally, quote unquote, and they're jealous of what that other person has. So it's no mistake that the first book was about this and my next book is about dealing with jealousy. I write in this first book that I want everybody to just keep getting back up. Don't give up, because just because something's not working the way you think it should right now doesn't mean that that's going to be the way it is forever. And if we can really deal with our sadness of loss and the betrayal of our body, or the betrayal of the cards we were dealt in life, then we can actually see the beautiful lessons that are sitting right underneath that.
Yeah. Well, you can find these beautiful lessons now on audiobook in Sequoia Stafford's It's Hard, Sexual Satisfaction Secrets to Beat Erectile Dysfunction. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's been a dream working with you guys. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Our next author is the author of Powerful Women Plan for Retirement, Take Ownership of Your Financial Future. I'm so excited to have this conversation with Deborah Menke, best-selling author, and now Powerful Women Plan for Retirement is on audiobook.
Ooh, yes. Hello, Dr. Angela. Nice to be here.
I am so excited about this book because it is one of those books that, you know, a lot of us don't like to look at our finances. It's like the scale. If you don't look at it, maybe it will do something good. I don't know. But you call it Powerful Women, and your work is so much about empowering women. Why do you focus on women?
So I was in sales leadership for over 2 decades. And before switching into this, a very crazy, powerful shift into the financial world, I was a sales leader. And during that time, I literally managed hundreds of women over those 2 decades. And what I found is that they did not have ownership. They were not taking ownership of their financial future. They were spending too much. And I'm going to say that was my journey as well. So as a sales leader, it was almost, I was writing the book to powerful female sales leaders and sales consultants, sales reps all over the country. That's who that powerful woman is. But I was that woman.
So the answer is not buy shoes and purses with all the extra money?
Prada maybe needs to go on the back. you and I have had a Prada switch.
Yes.
But, it really was what I noticed, what I found is that so many women are looking the part. They're trying to act the part, look the part. We're getting, we're getting older and older. We're getting Botox and Juvederm and all of the things. We're buying the Prada. We're at Nordstrom with our personal shopper in the professional workspace. And we're investing in our careers in the way that we look, but we're not taking ownership of our financial future. And what I found was when I made that career switch, I really noticed it because I was seeing women every day that had no idea if they were going to be ready to retire in 10, 15 years. And it was really, it was a scary wake up call. I had done all of the things right during that time. I had put into my 401k. So that way I was prepared, but the day to day, I was spending way too much and not saving enough. But that woman that I've written this book to, it's really a love letter to protect all of those women who really want to do the right thing, but they're burying their head in the sand. We also, it's not a really popular book. I mean, a book about retirement is not as fun as Sequoia's book, right? That's not as fun to read, but I really infuse the spiritual it's kind of a book about manifesting and financial freedom. And I just think so many women need it. And interestingly enough, I created or wrote this book for a woman around my age who really had 10 to 15 years until retirement. And oh my gosh, what do I need to do? Am I ready? Very fearful. But interestingly enough, these women gave it to their children, gave it to their daughters. I gave it to my daughter who's in her 20s. She's 27 years old. And oh my gosh, if they can get this in their 20s and really understand what they need to do, oh, they'll be so much further along than we ever will. You know, don't you wish that you learned what you know, if I only knew what I knew
For
then,
sure.
I knew now. Yeah.
Wow. So what's your favorite thing that's happened? We've worked together for over a year now. I know there's another book coming. But other than writing another book, what's the best thing that has happened since you've become a best-selling author?
Well, I'm actually writing my third book right now, which is really fun, in the Powerful Women series. So of course I love that. But I think, and you said the word earlier, you know, you said that this was a mastermind. And that's exactly what this, you know, writing a book was just, it was a beautiful thing. Writing 2 books, writing 3 books, but it's really so much more about the community of authors here, really about, and I'm in Marianne Williamson's mentorship with you, and it's just been a complete up-leveling. And of course, we've had this whole crazy pandemic world that we've been thrust into, which right now more than ever, it's important for people to really get a hold and of their finances and look for what is financial freedom, right? We need to take a close look at that. So please stop burying your head in the sand. But the best thing for me about this entire journey, and that's exactly what it is, it's just been this beautiful journey of meeting other like-minded humans and connecting. And I have to tell you, I've been more connected with the other authors in this program than I have with people in my own life and my own community during this time, because we're very much working on this together. So
I love that. I know you've got some business besties in the group, and it's been so fun to watch your message evolve and to watch you evolve. And so many of the authors here that we've talked to about what the last year has been like, you all look different, you sound different, you're more empowered, you're doing amazing work, every single one of you. So I'm so excited about this book, Powerful Women Plan for Retirement, Take Ownership of Your Financial Future, by best-selling author Deborah Menke. So congratulations.
thank you.
There are a couple of authors that are not here. I want to tell you about Susan Youngerman's book, Stop Your Toddler's Tantrums, The Mother's Guide to Finding Joy in Parenting. You probably need that one these days. Minimize your young child's tantrums, set yourself up for success even when things go sideways, build trust and security between you and your child. That is now an audiobook. So if you or someone you love has a toddler who's tantruming, get them Susan Youngerman's Stop Your Toddler's Tantrums, The Mother's Guide to Finding Joy in Parenting. Tanya Trevitt, who is also part of the Marianne Mentorship, her book, Help, I'm Failing as a Mom, The Survival Guide to Raising a Child with a Mood Disorder. That book is now out on audiobook. Learn the secrets to letting go of guilt so you can be a better and happier parent. Understand the complexities of mood disorders and why it takes a village to raise a child. And we also have Dr. Sherry McDonald. Sherry has written her second book with us. This book is called Healing the Healer Within: 8 Steps to Unleash Your Potential. How to conquer imposter syndrome, how to express confidence in becoming a healer, and how to love the healer you have become. Healing the Healer Within is free now, available on Amazon. So these authors have all gotten their ebooks, their print books, their audiobooks out in the world. We're so excited to share them with you. And I think you can see how perfect the timing was to get these books out. Thank you for being a part of this journey. I hope you have learned something. I hope you've been inspired. I hope you've gotten some books. Make sure that you find the links to these books and get them all, share them with friends. I hope you can see these are regular people just like you. They're not the best writers. They're not stars of TV shows. These are people who are committed to making a difference, to changing people's lives, to standing up and being seen. They've talked a lot about the courage and the bravery it takes. And if you're feeling like you would want a nurturing community around you to incubate that bravery and to bring your message into the world, that is why we're here. So if you are ready to take advantage of this moment, we would love to hear from you. You just go to the authorincubator.com/apply. It's 3 words, the THE, author, AUTHOR, incubator, INCUBATOR.com/apply. Share with us about your book. One of our acquisitions editors will have a conversation with you, and we will make sure that if we can help you, we do just that. The books, like I said, are free for a limited time, so make sure you get them. And who knows, one of these books may change your life. But that is all for today, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of these authors, their book journeys, and our mission at the Author Incubator, which is changing the world. One book
Book at a time.
Same.